Hey guys, I'm back for another video, and today I have a bunch of suggestions for Hypixel SkyBlock. So this isn't the normal content, it's not a let's play, it's not a tutorial. This is a message from me to the admins and developers, as well as you guys, I guess, so that, you know, we can spread awareness of these ideas. And some of them are QOL changes, otherwise known as quality of life. Some of them are new features altogether. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so my first suggestion is with the auction house. So let's say I wanted to buy these enchanted emeralds, right? This guy bid 140,000 coins, which is actually ludicrous. If, let's say I was Cold Bear, right? And I bid 80,000 coins, reasonable, you know, bid for these emeralds. And then this guy goes and bids 140,000. What if I want to withdraw from the auction because, you know, I've been beat out? This guy's gonna win the auction. It's got like 40 minutes left, and I don't want my money to be trapped in an auction I know I won't win. So I request that if you're not the #1 bid, that you have the ability to withdraw from an auction so that you can save time, get your coins back, this person wins. The general consensus is what most people say is when someone overbids, it's like, fine, you can have it, I don't want it, I just want my 80,000 coins back, you can have your emeralds. So yeah, it'd just be a nice thing to save time, because then I can go and find another stack of emeralds to bid on with my 80,000 coins. And of course, you can't withdraw if you're the winning bid, because that causes all sorts of problems with the whole system. So no, once you are top bid, you can't withdraw. That obviously makes sense. Okay, my second suggestion is the ability to reverse craft, especially with enchanted items. So let's say I wanted to get, say, a bunch of enchanted lapis lazuli. You know, it's possible to go and craft a whole bunch of it. I'm using SkyBlock add-ons here. So yeah, it'd be like, yeah, let's take 5 stacks of enchanted lapis, turn it into 2 enchanted lapis blocks. But what if I wanted to go in the reverse? What if I wanted to take an enchanted lapis block and turn it into 2.5 stacks of enchanted lapis? You can't do that. And, you know, functionally speaking, that's not possible because there's only one slot here. But what if there was a button somewhere down here that would reverse it? So you'd have the 1 item here and 9 here. So you'd be able to take this and then reverse craft it. So that would be a cool quality of life feature. It'd make things a lot quicker with minion upgrades and stuff. Or maybe if I just wanted to compact my storage. What if I wanted a lot of cobblestone as a building material and I had like a stack of enchanted cobble, but I wanted to then use it for building? I would then put it in the reverse crafting grid and get a whole bunch of cobblestone back out of it. So that'd be really cool. It'd allow people to use enchanted items as a form of storage so that you could then get back out what you put in. It would just make life a lot easier. Now, I don't know if I would recommend the same thing for something like a Runan's bow to get the mats. Maybe that requires some sort of upgrade in Emerald Collection or Diamond Collection or something. But it would be kind of cool to just uncraft an AOTE or something, but I don't know. That's a bit more of a stretch, but I do think it should be unlockable somehow, maybe by like Redstone collectioners, I don't know. My next suggestion would be enchanted arrows. So if we go into my quiver here, it is pretty empty, but when you're off in the end killing a whole bunch of, like, you know, everything, you're gonna fill this up in about 5 minutes. And then your inventory is going to fill up with arrows in like 5 minutes. And there's no way to compact the arrows. They just fill up everything extremely quick, again, in like 5 minutes. So it would be cool to make an enchanted arrow. So you could, again, compact it, and if the previous suggestions used, you'd be able to turn them back into regular arrows. Maybe you'd even be able to take an enchanted arrow, put it in your quiver, and then it would start pulling from it as if it was a stack of 2 stacks and 32 arrows. So it'd be a way to have a much more compact quiver, or maybe just make an enchanted arrow do a lot more damage. I don't know, but I think there's something that could be done to make arrows a little bit more convenient. And maybe enchanted arrows could be used in a crafting recipe to make some special type of ammo. I don't know. The next suggestion is quite specific, but it's actually a plugin that I developed myself. If you guys don't know, I'm a plugin developer. I actually sell plugins as a living, kind of a side job. Anyways, I developed a plugin called Simple Sorting, and the way it works is that you walk up to any chest, you punch it, and then you punch another chest, and then punch the floor, and then it'll take all the items from every chest that you punched, compact it into a big list, combine all the stacks together, and then put it back in by ID. It sorts it by ID and also combines all duplicate stacks. And in my experience, in a standard Minecraft storage system, that will probably save you about half of the entire storage and inventory space. All repeat stacks will get compacted, everything will be put in order. I actually talked to Simon about this idea myself, and he said he really liked it, but it has not been added yet, and that it's been like 4 months since I showed him. So I don't know, I'm just gonna leave that one in there. There's a card in the top right hand corner for the video if you're interested in that plugin as like something to put on your own server. But it's really good. It's really good. Something like that added to SkyBlock would be kind of cool. Maybe as some sort of item that, like, instead of punching it with your hand, which would be, you know, open up the door to way too many accidental sorting incidents, like, it'd be kind of cool if you had like an item in your hand, like an enchanted piece of paper. I used this functionality in a plugin I coded, and I called it the document of order. So you'd use the paper, punch every single chest in your storage, and then punch the floor, and they would just sort everything at once. It'd be kind of cool. So this suggestion's another plugin I made, and it's player-made shops. So we all know about the auction house, right? The auction house is a way to buy and sell items, and it's, you know, an auction. People can bid up, people have a starting price. Sometimes you don't know what that starting price is. People can outbid and go literally insane and sell millions of coins worth of items that are actually only worth like 100k each. So that's why I was thinking it'd be kind of cool that on your own island, you put down a slab shop. So what I mean by a slab shop, on the screen if you look, my plugin Ultimate Shops is, again, another thing I sell to make a little bit of side money, but that plugin is really great because it allows you to buy and sell any item in the game. You use a stick, you right click on a slab, you insert the item you want to sell, and then you start selling it. So if I were to go like this, from a distance, that's what it would look like, except centered. It would show the item on the slab, you right click on it, you can buy and sell for a set price. This would be convenient because if it's known that a certain person sells a certain item for a certain price, then you can head to their island and buy that thing. People can set up entire malls of these shops. Maybe there'd be a limit of like 10 or 12 of them. I don't know. For example, if I'm the farmer boots guy and I want to sell my farmer boots for a set price, guaranteed price, no auction, no people bidding you up and being annoying, for 300,000 coins. I would just have it there. You'd see the farmer boots. You could right click. You can buy it with the coins right then and there. And it'd be kind of like an NPC shop in that way, but made by a player. So another suggestion would be a drop box for visitors. So let's say you owe somebody an item, you did a trade, but they're not online. Maybe even coins that you wanted to give them, but they're not online. That maybe you like go up to Jerry or something, or there'd be a literal Dropbox block where you could leave the items or coins for them. And that'd be really convenient because I've multiple times had to borrow coins from people, but then when I wanted to pay them back, they're just not online. So that's a good way of giving back, I guess, would be a Dropbox. Another thing that would be really great is to have an ability to disable players or do /vanish in a lobby. Because sometimes it gets really annoying to do the simplest of things. I mean, I know they hide all players near NPCs, but I think it'd be cool to just hide players entirely, especially during something like a dragon fight where you can accidentally open people's inventories, they get in the way, they push you around, they block your arrows. So I think it'd be cool if you could just vanish them. So, you know, I don't know if vanishing them would imply that your arrows don't hit them, because I don't know how that would really work from a plugin point of view, but it would be really cool to just not have to deal with players, especially dragon fights. I mean, most other situations I'm fine with it. It's just most specifically when I'm fighting a dragon, it's extremely annoying just having like 20 people up on the spire at the same time. The next one's really simple, and that's to not include the night vision charm as one of the 3, potion effects. If you guys don't know, there's a 3 potion limit cap. You can't have 3 of them or more than 3 potion effects without splashing. And the night vision charm takes up one of those slots, and it's actually really annoying. So it'd be cool if that was just excluded from that list. And it doesn't even work half the time, actually. Oh, this is a big one. So during Slayer quests, people tend to help when they're actually not supposed to. So the problem with Slayer quests right now is that if I was to, go in, kill some crypt ghouls, do my normal thing, I spawn a Revenant tier 4, right? And then some non wearing Ender armor using like an Ember Rod that does like 80 damage a hit to a mob with literal hundreds of thousands of health taking up a hit tick, they start smacking your boss, and it's like, yo, stop, I can't hit the boss anymore because you're taking up invulnerability ticks, and then you die. So my suggestion is that with Slayer quests, that you only can damage bosses that came from players that are in your profile or friends list or something. Maybe it's configurable, but I can't tell you how many times, especially with Sven's, and even, no, most specifically with Tarantula bosses, because you desperately need that regen from, what is it, Vampirism? Getting damage on the boss, like, you need that hit. If you don't hit the boss, you don't regen and you die. And Nons can literally ruin a tier 4 battle. One quick thing is that back before a certain update happened, you were able to craft beacons using Saving Graces or Catalyst, I think it was. And as you could see in my chest here, I have 4 beacon blocks. Now the problem is you can no longer craft them. And honestly, I think that's a missed opportunity. Beacons are a cool little part of Minecraft, and considering how cheap materials are in Skyblock, you could easily make a pyramid. You can get yourself some extra speed, some extra strength. I think it'd be really neat if beacons were officially supported in Skyblock instead of being a bug, that they actually have a crafting recipe and you could use them. One use I could think of is haste near one of those. Having speed by a pumpkin farm, which there is a pumpkin farm under there, I swear. Having an official crafting recipe for beacons would be cool. So we all know that Cleave is a broken enchantment. Now they did technically fix it. So the problem that Cleave did, right? The biggest problem that people had with Cleave is that it caused an invulnerability tick when you hit something, and then the cleave damage would hit a mob next to it. And the problem was resolved. That problem specifically was resolved, and it fixed Cleave, supposedly. It fixed a whole bunch of enchantments that had hit tick problems, for example. Fire Aspect, Venomous, Thunderlord. But anyway, there's still a problem with Cleave, specifically. The other enchantments are fine now, except for maybe Fire Aspect, because the effect is annoying looking. But specifically, Cleave still has a problem. And the reason why is by design. When you hit a mob and then it damages a mob next to it, which I don't have Cleave, so I'm not going to be able to showcase it here. When Cleave hits the other mob, it knocks out some of its health, which is like, well, yeah, of course it would. That's the point of the enchantment. But the problem is that cancels out First Strike. And Cleave only does a couple % of damage. Like 4% or something stupid. Whereas First Strike is 40% of your damage. So if First Strike gets canceled out by Cleave, then there's literally no reason to use Cleave. So my suggestion is to fix Cleave, that instead of doing actual damage to the mobs nearby, that it weakens them so that they can take 5 or 6 more damage or something like that. Or make it so that Cleave damage doesn't actually count towards First Strike. Or make it so that on a sword with Cleave and First Strike, that it applied the First Strike with Cleave, which would be awesome, because then you'd be able to just maul like whole groups of low-level enemies all at the same time. So I don't know. That'd be kind of neat. Okay, so now we're going to get into the fun suggestions, things that are not necessarily quality of life, they're just things that are fun. And the first one is going to be a Skywars / Bed Wars type competitive PvP minigame that uses all the equipment from Hypixel SkyBlock. This includes the aspect of the end, the grappling hook. Imagine doing PvP in a competitive scene. So not the Coliseum, because the Coliseum is just a mosh pit. There's no real balancing or scaling at all. It's kind of dumb. I mean, it's a little fun, I guess, but it's just, I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense to go in here. But if there was a system where like everybody starts out with Ender armor or something, just imagine being like, boom, you dead. Boom, you dead. Or teleporting above to, like, you know, avoid an obstacle or to not fall in the void. I don't think aiming arrows should be part of that because that's just annoying. But maybe just the Runans with the 3 arrows would be cool. You do good damage with an axe. Maybe the jungle axe would be cool because you'd be able to break a hole. Maybe even a piece of the ground. So maybe there'd be some specific things that are, like, new. Like a pickaxe that does a similar thing to the jungle axe, but to the ground. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential there to make a game mode that's centered around Hypixel SkyBlock items in particular for PvP. It'd be kind of neat. Especially with like a speed bonus. Imagine just someone spawning with a full young set and being at 500% speed. Just kind of like zooming around with a grappling hook and like, I don't know, that'd be kind of fun. My next suggestion would be a Borderlands style dueling system. So imagine, right? It'd be kind of like the Coliseum, but everywhere. So you would go into a player's menu and then you press a specific button that would be like challenge to a duel. And then somebody else would be like, oh, he's challenging me to a duel. And maybe it'd be somewhere over here. Let me accept that request. And when you do that, it instantly puts you in duel mode, which means that all of the arrows you shoot, all the potions you drink, all the food you eat, everything, like, it saves your inventory before the fight starts. So then you fight, you can't attack any mobs or interact with any mobs, they won't interact with you. You just duel with your buddy. Whoever wins the duel, it doesn't really matter, it just says they won the duel, and then everybody gets transported back to where they were, doing what they were, in any area of the game. So if I wanted to duel in, like, the ruins, then you could do that. There is a lot of problems with this idea, because it could be used for exploits somehow by having mobs not attack them and do glitches or whatever, but I don't know. Some sort of dueling system that works anywhere would be kind of neat. I think more bonus arrow types would be cool. Right now, the only other arrow you can get is like toxic arrow poison, which is terrible, by the way. Maybe you'd have a instant damage arrow that does more damage, or a poison arrow that poisons them, which I think toxic arrow poison does, but like something better. Or maybe just buff it. Or maybe a slowness arrow, or maybe a blindness arrow, which makes it so they can't crit, and it makes them slow. So something like that, I don't know. I think bouncy boots would be kind of cool. It'd have a slime block-like effect, so you just kind of bounce around. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Tinker's Construct, but the slime sling and the slime boots is really fun. And, I mean, the grappling hook is kind of like a slime sling, so it'd be cool to have bouncy boots in the slime collection, and you'd be able to bounce around and transport yourself really quick. So that'd be a neat feature, I guess. I think it'd also be cool to do more things similar to the Romero quest or the Fire quest. Some creative, or even the different races. It would be cool to have unique ways to get talismans or like some other reward that's not just fighting things and killing things. Maybe related to mining or underwater, discovering treasure or something would be cool. I don't know. But I'd recommend more of that type of stuff. The creative ways to get talismans would be kind of neat. I guess the final suggestion is another quality of life thing. So there's currently a problem right now with SkyBlock where people actually lose things like the Maddox bat phone, the love charm thing here, the ring of love. People also lose the campfire badge, and once you've lost it, it's only one per profile per person, or one per person per profile, whatever. Once they lose it, it's gone. So I think there needs to be some way of recovering it. So maybe make it so you can't actually give that talisman to anybody else, or you can't pick up someone else's charm of those types, and then make it so that when it does disappear, that it reappears in Jerry. Was it the deliveries? I think that should be put in place just in case, because I know a lot of people are losing items that they should be getting. Sometimes the race glitches out and people never got a pig's foot from completing it. And you know, that's also one per person per profile, so that should also be maybe given in the delivery if they lost it. So things like that. Well, anyway, those are my suggestions for Hypixel SkyBlock. There were a lot of them. I just fell in the void. Bonus, you shouldn't lose your potion effects when you fall in the void on your island, or you die on your island for that matter, because yeah, or lose coins. I mean, the coins thing is pretty consistent, but you still lose potion effects, which is kind of annoying. If you liked all these suggestions, make sure to share this video, maybe talk about it on the forums, or contact your favorite staff member, tell them about some of these things, because I think they'd all make the game better. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. A lot of people, it turns out, they love to watch my videos, but they don't actually click the button to subscribe. On average, every viewer watches 6 of my videos per month. Like, on average, which means a lot of you guys are watching without being subbed, which, hey, you might as well make it official. Well, anyway, that's it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.